Okay, so I am going to show you one tip that will absolutely change your Nier Replicant version 1.22 play. I'm not sure if it's also a thing in Nier Replicant, the Gestalt version. I am going to recycled vessel 3 because I think the second area of this is the best place where I can show you. And also we can enjoy the great music, which is going to be copyright stricken. And I'm going to have to dispute again. I'm also trying out the new weapon. Oh, I've upgraded the Fool's Laments completely. Yeah, I don't like heavy weapons. This is marked. This is a weapon that's marked as very heavy, and I can actually feel it that it's heavy. But also means I can almost like just one-shot the enemies. I'm not too worried about my HP dropping. I can just play aggressively because these enemies give a ton of medicinal herbs. Like, not in this area obviously, but later on we do. I can just use up whatever medicinal herb I have and get past this area quickly. I'm not gonna lie, like, this heavy weapon is really cumbersome. Can we just appreciate how good the music is? You're wide in the open when you're swinging. Come on, nice. Okay, let's just get past this area as quickly as possible so I can show you what I discovered. I was actually discovering this while I was trying to change the controls. Oh, and this Fool's Lament has an 80% bonus to magic. I should use a health cell. I mean, it's strong, but it's also very slow. Okay, we're going to second section. Love the music. Feels so much like Devil May Cry. Okay, this is a section with 3 boars, which have a ton of HP. They're basically tanks. And like, you are making like full charge of the magic, and still they're not dying. So like, how longer do I have until they die? The thing is, this is the trick. You go to options. You enter the options menu. You go to options, and you go to game, and then there's a section where you can actually able or disable the parts of the HUD. Disable entire HUD or HP and MP gauges. This is the one. By default, the enemy HP gauges are set to off. Only the boss HP gauges are set to on. And also you can change the text log, weapon quick switch, auto sprint, and all that. Save the... No. Save the current settings. Save it. Save the current settings. And you can actually see the HP gauges of the littler enemies that are not the bosses. Okay. I need to concentrate. And you can actually see how much HP these guys have left. The wars, whatnot. And this is another trick that might be useful. If you press, when you're attacking, if you press forward attack, and evade at the same time, it immediately puts you on the back of an enemy. Attack, then evade. Attack, then evade. Attack, then evade. He puts you on the back. So immediately you can just go around to the other side of the enemy. And it just makes life much easier. Attack, then evade. Or let me show you again in the next section. Which is going to be the basement of Emil's huge Resident Evil mansion. You get a ton of materials in this section. Invade. I'm not showing you properly because I'm not being able to show you properly because I'm one-shotting the enemies. The thing is, keep your finger on R2 evade while you press attack and forward. Obviously it doesn't work so well in closed tight spaces, but pressing attack and evade together will bring you to the other side of the enemy. Okay, let's just get out of here. And while I'm at it, I might just show you the whole of the recycled vessel. No! Like, I hate these isometric views. And drop attacks. Just jump, then press triangle. With a heavy weapon, will knock over most enemies. Should use the health cell. And also, there's a door you can open here if you want just that tiny bit of more materials. Ooh, I got a gold ore. I so needed that. Okay, get out into the open. That does a ton of damage. This is a dark lance that I'm using. And it does a ton of damage and it also knocks them over. I'm so not used to this weapon. So you go into the next section and you are locked in. We have been shut in. Mind you, these small enemies you can take out with homing missile thingy of Brim of Vice when you're at this level and when you're wielding the Fool's Lament. And these enemies drop a ton of medicinal herbs, so don't skimp on it. Don't skimp on it. I'm at full health. I didn't need it. Okay. Just basically one-shot these enemies. And also, unlike the spear, the two-handed swords have a very long range. So basically, if you're surrounded by these low-level enemies, you can just swing your big weapon around and get a ton of them out. Okay, moving on to the next section. Let's see, just having that enemy HP gauge HUD just helps a lot. Just kind of see like which enemies are down and which enemies are actually dead. And iron ores are common materials, but they're sort of hard to come by. And there are a lot of like moldavite and all those rare materials. Like amber, you're not going to need a lot of amber. Oh, but eagle legs are. Fluorite, you also need quite a bit of. So that's good. Medicinal herb, just use one because, you know, why not? We've got a ton of them anyway. No, we haven't shut in again. Okay. Oh, and at the end of this section, this is the end of section 3. And I'm going to be able to show you another enemy where having the enemy HP gauge, did I just say gauge? Where having the enemy HP gauge show is super helpful. Also, the Force Lament two-handed sword can also, when you swing it around, you can also hit enemies that are behind you. This enemy, this one, we saw this before, but we're in isometric view, so it was kind of hard to see. Has a ton of HP. Also, I might tell you, those magic where you can charge do a lot more damage, like exponential damage if you charge it to full. It's just that while you're casting the magic and while you're charging the magic, you are exposed. That's the only problem. Okay, so let's try this again. While you're holding evade, press forward and attack, and it'll bring you to the back of the enemy. Except when there's another enemy in the back, it automatically targets that. So while you're pressing evade, press forward and attack. The thing is, the order is press forward, evade, and attack. You get that? Forward, evade, attack. Let's try that again. Oh, I wanted to try it again, but I guess we've defeated all the enemies. Let's go into section 4, and then I'll show you. There are 5 sections to each recycled vessel, including 3. The 5th section of recycled vessel 3 does take a while. So it's forward, evade, and attack. As you can see, forward, evade, attack, and you can attack them from behind. Forward, evade, attack them from behind. Forward, evade, attack. Forward, evade, attack. Forward, evade, attack. Make sure you have your finger off the evade when you try this. Forward, evade. Forward, evade, attack. Forward, evade, attack. Works every time. You can take out a lot of enemies like that. There's enemies which guard like this are just vulnerable when you attack them from the back. Forward, evade, attack. Like that. And you don't even need to use magic. You know, I used to attack these from a distance and spend so much time, waste so much time on it actually. Even these guys. Forward, evade, attack. Except these guys swing their weapon around, so yeah, it's gonna hurt a bit. So, for these guys, I do recommend just using the Dark Lance. It does a ton of damage. But it's not dead yet, so I might just finish it off with a few melee attacks. Drop the attacks. And bye-bye. Get back because there's going to be another enemy spawning. And these guys shoot. Just be careful of that. They're not particularly strong. The pattern for this area is they spawn 1, then 3 of each enemy. Charge it to the floor. Also, the Dark Lance has penetration, so if you line up the enemies, like so, charging. Also, while you're charging the Dark Lance, time kind of stops. Briefly. If you line up the enemies, you can also knock back the enemies that are behind them when you're using the Dark Lance. Okay, we're out of mana, so... And the drop attack. Knock them over every time. Get up. I'm not done with you. And even when they're swinging their weapon around, you can knock them over. Buys you a little bit of time to get that mana. Also, if you press up and press forward and jump and basically a triangle and jump, sometimes, I don't know the exact key combos, but you can do like a kind of a charge shot where you attack from bottom up. Like the thing is, this game is not very good at teaching you the combos, but there are combos. For people that are not experienced in action games, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have known that jump shots are a thing. Jump attacks are a thing. Get these guys out of the way and position yourself towards the front of the... when these guys are almost out of HP, position yourself to the either the middle or the front. Because that guy, his floor attacks do a ton of damage. Especially if at a lower level. I'm going to deplete my mana as much as I can before I go into melee attacks. Because it's kind of really hard to evade. Also, you can, the game also doesn't tell you this, but we're going to see again in phase 5, but you can destroy parts of the enemy, like their helmets and their armor, and this makes them more vulnerable to your melee attacks. Recovery potions are those that fulfill your health to the full, and from phase 3 they drop a lot, so from phase 3 I recommend that you get your HP down to dangerous levels and just use the recovery potions, because you're gonna get a ton of these anyway. Okay, when you're in a very tight space and there's like not much space behind the enemies, the swing to the back doesn't really work. You need space behind the enemy where you can go to if you're going to use this trick. Or combo. Whatever you want to call it. And if you have a word attached to your weapon which ups your guard break, like, drop shots that normally don't knock back enemies or break their guard will do. I do have those words, so that's working. And this is the tricky part. It seems like you might want to go across there, but you're not going to make the jump. Thing is, you have to drop down here. And this ledge actually stretches out to this side. And this side is the one where you want to go, because enemies spawn along the whole length. So you want to get as close to the door as possible, because enemies are going to be spawning all along this ledge. Slow down time a bit, get them as close as possible, and take them all down. The thing is, one thing you want to be aware of is that there's a fireball shooting enemy on a ledge far away. You want to take him out first, because it is a nuisance. As so. got a lot of health salves, you're gonna get a lot more, so don't skip on them. You can get a lot of recovery items. Besides, the story portion doesn't require that much. After you've completed the recycle vessel, you get a lot of experience points, which levels you up. And once you grind for a bit and get some of your weapons leveled up, you don't really need to worry about enemies. You just need to worry about the technique and time. So I think we've got all the enemies down. Okay, this part you need to be really fast. You go to the end, there are two ledges. The circular ledge you want to jump on, and immediately go to this ledge, and then double jump, and take out these enemies first. Because they shoot fireballs, and then they're a big nuisance. Once you get them out of the way, there are no more that are like far away. Don't do it. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, and then you want to hold your Dark Lance. This flying banshee thing sometimes puts on a magic barrier, and you want to avoid shooting at it when it does. When it doesn't, you are free to just shoot it down like that. And while you're on this ledge, go to the end where you jumped on. Now we're going to have like 4 boss fights back to back. So don't jump too far. But you do have to use evade an air dash to get to this ledge. This guy doesn't really move. While this guy has a good range attack, what you want to do is when this guy holds up his right hand, that's when you want to release the lance. Because that's when he's going to launch a devastating floor attack. And you can just cancel the attack. The thing is, this guy will cage you in, as so. And this is where the rush to the back really helps. Except that when enemies are this big, you can't really rush to the back. If you're caged in inside its embrace, it won't let you. As so. That guy will hold you between its claws. The thing is, when the enemy is almost dead, press evade, and this evade should have like MP recovery rate upward attached to it. If you press evade just at the moment that you land the final shot, it will replenish your MP fully. Not by magic, not with magic. You need to do a melee attack. It needs to be a melee attack that takes out the enemy. Like so. I mean, the timing doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, this enemy is the one with the helmet, and it works best with a lighter weapon. Do not fall. Evade this attack, then jump and try to attack its helmet, because you can break the helmet, which makes it so vulnerable to damage. When you actually succeed in breaking the helmet, your attacks will do a ton more damage. If you can break it, that is. It's kind of hard to aim with a heavy weapon. You're better off with a lance or like a light sword, one-handed sword. You can break it with magic, but it'll take a bit of time. And yeah, I have not succeeded in doing that. This is boss 3 of 4. Yeah, I'm not the best player, but I know the tips, I know the tricks, I know what to do, and I hope that if you're better at controls than me, and you actually find it much easier. with the tips I've given you. Okay, and I also kind of missed the evade person. So the last enemy is kind of easier to take out if you have magic. It shoots bullets, but you can just like rush in and hit the eye in the middle. Best done with a one-handed sword. Definitely. Or preferably a spear. I don't know why I keep using the Force Lament. I just want to use it and get used to it, I guess. That's taken out, and now you have finished the Recycled Vessel 3, and you get, as a reward, 10,000 experience points and 50,000 gold. This is going to get you to that 1 million gold trophy very fast. Let me show you. Save your system data to your last save. Last save slot, I mean. Loading.
Is that all?
Huh?
Yeah.
You can see that I have 960,000 gold, which means one more grind and I get the million trophy. So actually this wasn't one tip, this was actually several tips. And also like kind of a guide into the Recycled Vessel 3, but I hope you have gotten something out of this, enjoyed it. And if you did like the video, please subscribe to my channel, and also make sure to check out my Twitch channel and follow me there as well.